Hello, my name is Jonathan, and today I'll be showing you how to operate one of the HD ITV classrooms at Central Arizona College. We'll cover things such as how to turn the projector on and off, how to control the room's cameras, how to mute and unmute the microphones, how to send content, and how to send a help request to an ITV operator without having to leave the classroom. The projectors in the HD rooms will automatically turn on 5 minutes before the class is scheduled to start, but you can still turn the room on manually by tapping and releasing the on-off button. A prompt will appear asking you whether you want to start the room in presentation mode or in video conference mode. Select video conference. After you do this, you'll notice that the on-off button will blink green, indicating that the projector is warming up, and a progress bar will appear on the screen. During this time, the document camera will also automatically turn on. And you'll want to use this time to make sure that the computer is turned on. The keyboard and mouse for the PC are located in a tray inside of the desk. To access the keyboard and mouse, simply press down on the locking mechanism on the tray and pull out. This tray is never locked. When the room warms up fully, you'll see two tabs appear on the touch panel. The active one will be the ITV tab, which has controls for the cameras and the microphone, and the other is the Sources tab, which we'll get to later. When using a video conference room, you can either show people or people and content. The people view allows you to see everyone participating in the conference from their camera at their site. There are the near participants, which are people who view the video conference from your local site, and there are the far participants, who view the video conference from remote locations. There are many different far video arrangements. The ITV operators designate the layout based on the number of sites and the instructor's location, but you can ask your ITV operator to change the layout for you. For now, we'll look at controlling the local camera, which is controlling the people view at the local site. The PIP button allows you to change the position of the near and far video on your screen. Pushing the PIP button repeatedly allows you to cycle through all of the available positions. The left-hand side of the ITV tab allows you to select camera presets that move the camera to fixed points in the ITV classroom. When the room starts up, the camera shot will automatically be set to wide. If we wanted to zoom in on the teacher, we could simply press the teacher button. If we wanted to point the camera at any of the student seats, we see numbers 1 through 6 are laid out on the panel. These positions correspond to spots on the main table in front of the instructor station. So for instance, the number 1 spot is the closest spot to the instructor on the left-hand side. The number 2 spot is the closest point to the instructor on the right-hand side. Number 3 is the mid position on the left. Number 4 is the mid position on the right. Number 5 is the far position on the left. And number 6 is the far position on the right. The home button is the most commonly used button, and it's the red X in the center of the directional arrows. Pressing this button focuses the camera on the teacher, zooming in halfway between the wide and teacher shots. The camera controls on the right-hand side of the touch panel allow me to manually position the camera to any point outside of the presets inside of the room. So for instance, if I wanted to point to one of the tables on the outside of this room, I could hold down the right arrow, and then I could move up and down, and then I can zoom in and tighten the frame around the subject that I want in the image. Inside of the room there are 3 microphones. There's one at the instructor station, and then 2 more on the ceiling above the table. On the bottom right-hand corner of the touch panel is a small button that says Mute Mics. When I push this button, the volume up and down buttons on the far right-hand side of the touch panel will blink green and red to let you know that your microphone is muted. I can unmute the microphones by pushing the button on the touch panel, or I can mute and unmute the microphone by pushing the button on the microphone itself. Note that the sensitivities of the microphones at the far sites cannot be adjusted. So if you're having trouble hearing someone on the far end, ask them to move closer to their microphone, or you can turn up the volume at your site. To raise the volume, we can push the volume up button, or we could push the volume down button to make the volume quieter. If we wanted to mute audio altogether, we could push the mute button underneath the volume level indicator. Note that when the local volume is muted, the volume up and down buttons will blink green and blank. And I can resume audio at the previous level by pressing the mute button again. The People Plus content view allows you to see content, which could be a computer, a Blu-ray, or something on the document camera, along with the images of the participants at the far sites. The lecturer is the site that sends content to all of the other sites. ITV classes can be configured to use a static lecturer, which only allows one site to transmit content, or they can be configured with an auto lecturer, which allows any site to send content. Static lecturer is good for classes that only have one speaker, for instance, an instructor who's giving a PowerPoint presentation, and auto lecturer is good for classes where all the students have to give presentations or otherwise share content with all of the other sites. To send content to one of the far sites, press the Sources tab on the left-hand side of the panel, and then select the source that you want to send. If we want to send the PC, we simply press the PC button. We'll hear a ding indicating that the source is being routed, and after a few seconds the source will appear on the screen. If we wanted to switch to the document camera, we could simply press the document camera button. Once the source has been selected, you'll see that there are controls available for us to use on the touch panel. We can zoom into the document. We can zoom out of the document. We can turn the Elmo lamp on. And we can turn the Elmo lamp off. To show a Blu-ray or a DVD, I can press the Blu-ray button on the left-hand side. And again, it takes a little while for the source to be available on the screen, so please be patient. Now, when we selected the Blu-ray player, you will have seen that several buttons are now available for us to push. The left-hand side of this page has buttons that allow us to control the disc playback. So for instance, I can pause, I can play, I can fast forward, I can rewind, I can skip ahead, I can skip backwards, and I can exit the DVD entirely and return to the main menu. Pressing the Sources button does not change the video shown on the projection screen. When you select Sources, a new page appears with 4 buttons on it. The top 3 buttons correspond to auxiliary cables that come out of the side of the desk. When you select any of these buttons, a picture of the cable appears on the touch panel. HDMI aux is typically used for the display outputs of newer laptops. RCA aux is used more commonly with older camcorders and VCRs. VGA is the type of connection most commonly used with laptops today. You'll have to connect the 1/8" audio jack to your laptop so that you can hear it in the video conference. To source off, simply press and hold the selected source until the video conference screen returns to the people view. Be sure to source off before asking another site to send content. If you need assistance at any point during your class, press the Help button on the top right-hand side of the touch panel. Select one of the 4 pre-canned messages from the bottom of the screen, and then press Send. This message will automatically be transmitted to the ITV operator at your campus. After the request has been sent, you might receive a message back from the operator, and this will appear in the From Tech area. To close the Help tab, simply press and hold the Help button. Once class is finished, you can either let the operator turn the system off for you, or you can manually turn the projector off by pressing and holding the on and off button for 3 seconds. When you do this, the projector will go dark, and the on-off button will start to blink red. While the system is cooling down, none of the buttons on the side of the panel will be accessible.